In the mountains of Fukushima Prefecture, deep in the forested interior of the Azu Highlands, the land is littered with silences, not the ordinary silence of an empty field, but the particular silence of places where people once lived and no longer do. One such place is the abandoned hamlet known as Hachijo. Hachijo was a marginal community, what the Japanese call a genkai-shiraku, a settlement existing at the outer edge of viability. Perched high in the mountains of southern Fukushima, it was always a difficult place to live. Short growing seasons, deep winter snows, and roads that turned impassable for months at a time. Communities like Hachijo were common across the mountain interior of Tohoku. Through the Edo period and into the Meiji era, villages of a few dozen households scratched out lives in these valleys, farming small terraced fields, burning charcoal, harvesting timber. Isolation was simply the condition of existence. The 20th century began the slow unraveling. The Meiji government had consolidated many remote hamlets into larger administrative units, but consolidation on paper did nothing to ease the physical hardship of mountain life. Young people educated at lowland schools began to see what lay beyond the ridgeline. The post-war economic boom accelerated everything. Japan's high-growth years drew labor from rural areas into the cities at extraordinary speed. Factories in Osaka, Tokyo, and the coastal industrial zones offered wages that farming mountain plots could never match. Children left, then their parents. By the 1960s and 70s, Hachijo and settlements like it had passed a threshold from which there was no return. When the last elder died or moved to a care home in town, there was no one to take over the fields, repair the roofs, or keep the paths open through the snow. What remains today are the bones of the settlement, stone foundations where farmhouses stood, terraced hillsides that haven't been planted in decades, the moss-covered remnants of walls and water channels. The forest moves in with patience and certainty. The surrounding landscape still carries tremendous power. The rivers of the Azu and Tatami watersheds run clear and cold through deep gorges. The Tatami Line, one of Japan's most scenic railway routes, threads through valleys that once sustained dozens of now vanished settlements. In spring, the mountains explode with new growth so dense it quickly conceals anything built by human hands. In summer, the forest is a wall of green pressing against whatever cleared ground once existed. Autumn brings a blaze of color. Maples and beeches turning orange and red across slopes that no one farms anymore. Winter is the final judge. The snows that fall on the Azu Highlands are among the heaviest in Japan. Meters of accumulation. Roofs collapse under the weight. Stone walls tumble. What the forest hasn't taken, the snow does. Each winter is another year of erasure. The abandonment of Japan's mountain hamlets is not a footnote to history. It is an ongoing process. Of Japan's roughly 90,000 administrative hamlets, tens of thousands now qualify as genkai-shiraku, communities where more than half the population is over 65 and the end is a matter of arithmetic, not speculation. At Hachijo, the arithmetic was completed long ago. The names carved into the cemetery stones are the only record that remains of specific lives. The mountains do not grieve, and the snow does not pause. But the silence here is different from ordinary silence. It is the accumulated weight of a community's entire history, pressing down quietly into the earth.